Hey, what's going on, folks? It's Mike here, and welcome to our first impression series in which I try out different languages that I either haven't tried in a very long time or just really never properly used and just want to revisit the ecosystem and see how they are. So, with that said, I'm excited to be looking at the language Ruby today. Now, Ruby as a language is quite interesting because it was really popular, as I understand, in around 2010 or so. That's when all of my friends were learning Ruby, and it was sort of a great Ruby versus Python debate. Now, on this particular series, I'm not really going to be comparing languages in the sense of one that's better than the other. We might look at some different features that are interesting, but I just remember Ruby being a really intriguing option to look at. I remember briefly looking at it and using it for a hackathon many moons ago, as they say, and it seemed to me a language that has a thriving ecosystem. And while I believe many folks are still using it today, I'd just like to look and revisit it and try out some Ruby examples. Because as I've learned more programming over the years, it's interesting to look at other languages and see some of the trade-offs that they've made. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a look at the Ruby programming language. Now, let's go ahead and just go to the wiki here, and then I'll go to the Ruby language here, because I'm really curious just learning a little bit about the language here. Now, as it's sold here, it says it's an interpreted, high-level, general-purpose programming language. Now, we'll go ahead and look at the official site in a moment to get the official sort of mantra of the language, which I'm sure will be there somewhere. But let's just go ahead and kind of take a look at it, get a high-level overview. Now, it says this language first appeared in 1995 and is 28 years old. And something that's kind of funny with programming languages is if they're, either new, they're very exciting, or if they're very old, they're kind of boring, but maybe stable. But, this is a language that's gone through a lot of iteration here. As we can see, it's still very active. It's on release version 3.2.2, according to this wiki page. Maybe it's even newer than that. So it is some language that is evolving and still developing here. Now, I also happen to know some things about the Ruby ecosystem that I've just sort of heard that there are for instance, various ways to compile your code. There's different Ruby compilers and so on. But the gist of it is it's a dynamically typed language similar to Python or those types of languages. Garbage collection, so you don't have to worry about your memory management. And it does look like it has just-in-time compilation. I believe that there's various .NET variations of this, various compilers that support that. I think there was a Java compiler, for instance, that I seem to recall. Maybe it was Iron Ruby or something of that sort. But it looks like this language has had a pretty fascinating history. And as I recall, again, there was something, along the idea of Ruby gems and then a famous pickaxe books, excuse me, that would be interesting for folks to check out. So let's go ahead and see. Looks like the wiki is pretty accurate on what Ruby is: a dynamic, open source programming language with a focus on simplicity and productivity, which I like those things. It has an elegant syntax that is natural to read and easy to write. Great. And we've looked at some programming languages like Pascal, for instance, that have a history of being very readable, and that's a real focus of the language, and writable once you get practice. But if we can get both of these, that sounds very exciting to me. So let's go ahead and see how this language is. I mean, it looks like it's very, it's not very verbose, right? I don't even need parentheses here to print out this string here. Puts, of course, is similar to put string in the C language. So I wonder how much of the sort of my C knowledge will benefit me here. It looks like it's got some interesting stuff here. I can do 5 dot times here. This reminds me again of something I love about it, that the universal function call syntax, and being able to put either, the first argument leading here. And just makes it a really clean language here. Now, this is kind of interesting here because, I mean, this is effectively a for loop here where I could just write out this string 5 times. So already I'm looking at this, tiny example and saying, hey, maybe Ruby's really got this right here. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, this is kind of neat here. This is probably the first time I've seen this on a programming language page here. The academic research here, which is kind of cool here. I mean, all the way up to, they've got virtual machines and compilers. This is kind of interesting stuff here. I haven't seen this. I know obviously programming languages are used to do different research, and you'll often choose different languages. But this is kind of cool here to see some of the different areas here. Type systems, garbage collection, tooling. And this is all kept very recent too. I'm seeing like 2022 papers in here. So whoever is maintaining this on the site, well done for that. Myself, having worked as an academic, this is pretty interesting to me here. So that's cool that they're actually building up and compiling that here. Let's go ahead and look at their success stories, because oftentimes that's a little bit of a inspirational thing when we think about like, why should I adapt the language? Have other software been built with this tool here? So let's see, they've got a list of stuff here. Now, the truth is, companies aren't always going to display what languages they're using, and lots of engineers will maybe use Ruby or other languages. I use Dlang a lot, for instance, and it doesn't get published, but for my own tools and so on, even at work sometimes, for automating tasks or doing some data processing, these languages, have a lot of use, right? By just using the tools that But it looks like there are some nice published projects here. That's pretty cool here. Google SketchUp. I didn't know that uses Ruby for its macro scripting API. Cool. And NASA. Okay, so some cool projects here. I mean, it's a wide range of things here, from security, graphics applications, robotics simulation. That's pretty cool here. And this is perfect here. We've got a Ruby in 20 minutes again here. That'll be perfect. Again, I truly go into these things not really knowing the language, other than things you pick up or remember from way long ago. But again, it does look like, release here March 30th. So the wiki was pretty on par there. And it looks like they're doing relatively, frequent releases here. There's another release every month or so here. So that's pretty cool here. Let's keep kind of exploring a little bit here. I want to see some of their library support, and then we'll eventually get to the Ruby in 20 minutes. And then I'd like to try to install it just to see how that experience goes. Okay, so yeah, as with most programming languages, Ruby leverages a wide set of third-party libraries, and these are in the form of a gem. Yeah, Ruby gems. This is what I remember folks always talking about, which gem to pick up and make some task really easy to use. So this is kind of fun to see here. And yeah, effectively, let's see. I guess I've got a really cool tool here. Yeah, you're just using like gem search, and they're making the analogy it's like apt-get on Linux, some sort of package management. So again, I like these types of things. I think whether you're an older language or a modern, like new language, having some sort of package system is nice, right? If you're building commercial software, you might end up building like hand programming a lot of your dependencies anyways, but for those of us getting a prototype up and running, or maybe again for commercial software, that's a nice thing to have here, to be able to try out some libraries easily here. So it looks like, yeah, they've got a way to just search here amongst available gems, and then it's as simple as gem install Rails. Yeah, Ruby on Rails is what I remember being the most popular framework here. Okay, so maybe we'll take a look at that. Cool. Looks like they've got some rubygems.org has some guides here for building stuff here. Okay, and since the language has been around for 28 years and is quite mature, and again has an ecosystem of active developers here with active projects, it looks like they've got a pretty mature ecosystem and resources and so on. So that's always a good thing. Let's check out their community here. Looks like lots of Ruby user groups and so on. Ruby conferences, always like to see that, and podcasts. Okay, that's pretty cool. RubyConf, okay, every year since 2001. Let's just check that out really quick. Again, different programming languages have this, and it looks like, wow, looks like there's regional Ruby conferences as well. So quite the active community here. That's, again, as I look through these programming languages, I never know all the stuff going on. But yeah, check that out here, RubyConf in sunny San Diego. That sounds great. But great to see that this is active, still going on in 2023 and so on. There's podcasts. That's probably, again, the first time I've seen that. So great things for just building community in programming languages, having all these resources. So that's pretty neat here. Let's look here. Security. Okay. Security issues. Okay, that's good to know about. So it looks like they're really, focusing in on making sure you can develop safe software. Again, it being a garbage collected language, that can help with memory issues and memory safety. But, let's see here. Well, I'll have to take a look at that if we dive deeper. And we got the about Ruby here. Okay, very cool here. Here's a nice, before we maybe dive into the programming, Ruby is simple in appearance, but is very complex inside, just like our human body. That's funny. So trying to make Ruby natural is not simple in a way that mirrors life. Oh, interesting. Very nice philosophical take here. And let's see here. from Yakihiro Matsumoto. I hope I pronounced that correctly, or Mats. Perl, Smalltalk, Eiffel, Ada, and Lisp for some of the inspirations. So maybe we'll take a look at those programming languages at some point here. Again, I haven't written production code in any of those, so those are all good candidates for this series here. So anyways, a little bit on the history here. This is a nice kind of overview of the language here, maybe before we dive in here. Yeah, so it's got classes, pretty similar to Python. It looks like it's got the built-in self. That's pretty cool. Dot, let's see. Oh, just calling the plus operator here. Okay, yeah. Additions perform with the plus operator, but if you'd rather use the word plus, you could add such a method. Okay, sure. Oh, interesting. I wonder if numeric's a built-in class. You could add such a method to Ruby's built-in. Yep, that answers my question right there. Okay, so pretty dynamic language in nature. So that's pretty cool here. And we see that a lot, with these dynamic programming languages. Again, I've done a little bit of JavaScript, so maybe we'll have to revisit that properly here. Let's see, Ruby in the mixin. Okay, let's check this out here. Unlike many object-oriented languages, Ruby features single inheritance only, again, on purpose. That's a trend I see in a lot of languages. I like that again, you're going to discover which languages I use most, but in like D, for instance, Java also single inheritance. I think C# too. But Ruby knows the concept of modules, okay, called categories in Objective-C. Okay, Objective-C is another language we might need to look at. Modules are collections of methods. Okay, yeah. Classes can mix in a module and receive all its methods for free. Oh, interesting. So this is how they do the mix-in. Mix-in, to me, against to do more deprogramming, means to sort of like compile a string, essentially. But this is kind of cool. You're just including literally another class here. And then you get all the methods here. I wonder if it's like templated, or how does that work here? Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so that's how they do sort of multiple inheritance. A lot of other languages, right? If you only have single inheritance, but you can have multiple interfaces, that's a way to handle things. Let's see, visual appearance. So this is just some guides that I think are going to be helpful for us before we go on the actual 20-minute tour here. Var could be a local variable. @var is an instance variable. Okay, so like some object that we create, and $var is a global variable. Interesting. Actually, kind of like that. Then you don't have to search around too much or rely, totally on an IDE to tell you these things. So this is for readability. Okay, so they're really trying to think about this. Okay, and it becomes unnecessary to use a tiresome self dot to every instance member. Okay, interesting. Okay, so this is like within a class or something. You say @var. Which signals correctly here. We'll have to look at other languages. That I wonder if that is an Objective-C thing. Again, if that's what it's, maybe some of the object-oriented parts are inspired by. Again, I'll have to take a look at Objective-C. Okay, some other things. They've got exception handling. Okay, and a mark sweep garbage collector. Okay, cool. As Matt says, this is better for your health. No reference counting. I think Swift's a reference counted language. Again, we'll have to take a look at that in the series. And then writing C extensions in Ruby is easier than in Perl or Python. Okay, with a very elegant API for calling Ruby from C. Interesting. Okay, there's a Swig interface or something. That could be neat to look at. Ruby features OS independent threading. It can load extension libraries dynamically. Okay, that's great. So, I mean, essentially, I'm assuming we can get basically all of C for free in this language. But on threading, yep, it's got it. And then it's highly portable. Okay, so it's supporting like every operating system here, every desktop environment that I see. I wonder if there's Ruby stuff for like Android or iOS or that kind of stuff. Here, my memory of 10 years works from earlier. So list of compilers, there is an Iron Ruby, which is the .NET one. Looks like they've got a JRuby for the Java environment. I mean, that sort of answers my question. If you could do Android environment stuff, maybe just use one of these compilers, or let's see here. I guess they're built on different VMs. This one's built on top of LLVM, so I mean, then you could probably target anything. Okay, cool. So yeah, lots of cool stuff, exciting stuff happening in the Ruby environment here. Maybe we'll look at some gems here. Let's open up the Try Ruby. So we got this editor here, and then I've got the Ruby in 20 minutes here. I actually want to install this and then maybe we'll look at both of these here. But let's do the Ruby in 20 minutes here. So we're 15 minutes in on this video. Let's see if we can truly do it. Okay, so here's a small Ruby tutorial. It shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. Okay, we have to install Ruby. Okay, so maybe it'll take a few more minutes to do this. Let's see if I have Ruby here. I don't think I do. Nope. But it'll tell me how. Okay, sudo apt install Ruby. We want to install the snap because we saw we are in version like 3.22 or whatever. So let's do that here. Okay, let's type in my secret password. Okay, the versions of Ruby's. Okay. Okay, I can do classic or whatever. That's fine. I just want the compiler. And then we'll check and see what version it is here. So ruby-v. Okay, what's that complaining about here? Cannot be preloaded. I wonder if you have to like... okay. Let's see here. Let's actually click on the guide here. Okay. Sudo apt-get install Ruby full here. Okay. Let's follow the directions instead of just trusting our package manager here. Okay. Yes, we want everything. And I like when we the snap thing has never really worked super well for me on Ubuntu, so sometimes I'm fighting my management system here. I'll have to do another video on package management for at some point. Let's see how that did for us. All right, here. Oh, this is installing like Ruby 3.7. Okay, let's purge this. Sudo apt purge Ruby. Let's get rid of it. Okay. I might need to do remove as well here. Okay, so remove Ruby full. Yeah, make sure purge should call remove. Okay, great. Okay, let's try this again here. And then if it doesn't work, we'll just figure something else out here. On Ruby. Okay, looks like it is running. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Ruby -v. Not giving us the version here. What if I do this here? Okay, it looks like we have a version here. Looks like it's a little bit older though, 2.5.1. Wonder what's going on there. Let's see here. Try to figure this out live as always. Ruby. Oh, I guess I do have like version 2.5 on here. Maybe that got installed with something else here. Okay, so that is giving me the older version here. Wonder why that was crashing here. Well, maybe we can go with 2.5 and then I can wrestle and install the right thing here. Here's the snap here. Oh, we have several versions. Okay, so we could switch the version. That should be fine. We'll see if we run into any trouble here. Just want to get started. I imagine there's nothing too crazy here. Okay, let's open up a interactive Ruby. Okay, IRB here. Okay, IRB. Did that install that? Oh, cool. Perfect. Okay. So that's up and running here. Okay, so let's start off with our hello world. Hello world. There we are here. And Ruby obeyed. Okay, so we could go ahead and put out a string. Hello, Ruby fans. Hello, Ruby fans. Okay, and it's returning the nil value here. Okay, so puts is just a way to put out the string here. What's this nil bit here? Okay, it always returns nil, which is Ruby's absolutely positively nothing value. Okay, so like null in other programming languages, we have nil. Okay, so we got our calculator here. Can do various operations. That makes sense. And then for squaring, okay, so I believe that's similar to like Python and other languages. Okay. Yeah, a lot of languages have done this times instead of like the exclusive OR operator here. Now let's try like modulus 3 mod 2. Okay, we get 1. All right. All right. Okay, so yeah, it seems like pretty standard math stuff here. But we do have a math. Well, let's see, that's built in here. Square root of 9. Okay, cool. That's just built in, returns us a floating point value. And I wonder if I type math and then tab. Nope, no autocomplete on this interactive. Maybe I need to install something else. Okay, let's see here. So we got the math module, some handy functions, sine, cosine, and so on. Okay, that's great. Yeah, let's assign some variables here. A equals 2, B equals 7, math dot square root of A times B. Okay, we get some decimal number. If I hit up here, let's put that out as a string. Still evaluates, but returns nil here. Okay, sounds pretty good. Okay, so that's it. Is that it in 20 minutes here? Let's follow along here. Focus on. So let's get back to that. Okay, so that was sort of our quick start. Okay, yeah, page 2 of our quick start. Okay, what if we want hello without getting our fingers all tired? Okay, yeah, let's define a function. Define the hello function here. Put hello to everyone watching. And we'll end that function, and then I should just be able to type in hello. Okay, and executes that function. Yeah, simple enough. The def keyword, similar to in Python. Okay, so that's all pretty familiar to us. Okay, and again, it's returning nil here. Let's kind of keep scooting through here, adding in arguments. Again, dynamic language, so I don't see the type here. I wonder if there are type annotations or those types of things. I think those are one of the latest things getting added to Python. So let's see, let's see if we redefine that with a name here. Oh, looks like I can interactively do that. Hello, and okay, here's our string replacement format here with the curly braces and the hash mark. An end, okay. Okay, and it's giving me colon hello, so I guess that means that function was defined. Hello, okay, without an argument, we get an error. I like to create some of these errors here. Here, let me bump that down. Wrong number of arguments given, 0, expected 1 here. Okay, that's a decent enough error message. And again, because it's typeless language, as far as I know so far, you know, let's see if I just type in Mike or something. Okay, undefined local variable. Okay, so it is expecting a string here. Okay, hello, Mike. Let's see if I just do hello, like 1 or something. Yeah, I could figure that out here. Okay, so that's cool in the type system, right? Right, when we have dynamic types like this, I mean, it's effectively like a templated function, I guess, that's just going to do the right thing. I wonder with these dynamic functions, if that's how these programming languages implement them. It basically just generate every possible code at runtime when you call it for the string variant or something. I guess it's just interpreting it, but in a JIT language or something. All right, let's see here. So holding spots in a string, again, that was the main thing here with this sort of syntax here. Okay, that's going to be substituted in, and we can call methods on it. Okay, so I got a built-in capitalize method here. Let's rewind, redefine that here. Dot capitalize. And I can leave it. Oh, I gotta make sure it's in these curly braces there. I'll add the exclamation mark. And hello, friends. Okay, watching. Thanks for watching. All right, perfect. Let's see. Did it capitalize it? Capitalize the first letter here. Okay, very cool. Okay, the other trick. Let's see. Oh, they said a little default parameter. Okay, so I got that kind of stuff in our languages. Good idea to have some defaults sometimes. There we are. So evolving into a greeter. Okay, this time we're getting into classes. Okay, and we can see those instance variables here. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. I'll try not to make any mistakes. Class, greeter, and let's go ahead and bump this to the top of the screen here. And we'll define an initialize. Give it a default argument with world. This is a local variable here, or an instance variable, I guess they call it here. So we'll set that up. And let's see here. Def, say hi. Put out a string here, hi. And then at name. Okay, I got to refer to it with the this guy right here, because that's our instance variable here. Okay. No mistakes so far. And define say bye. Oh, bite. Okay, puts bye. And this is going to be at name here. Come back soon. Like and subscribe, as always. Or whatever you want to put here. And then we got to end our class. Okay, great. We've got our greeter. Uh-oh, I spelled one thing wrong. I'll just have to remember what that is here. Okay, so how do we set it in motion? Create an object here. Let's take our next step here. Okay, they got a defined .new here. Greeter equals greeter.new. And let's go ahead and call this Mike here for this particular one. Okay, we can see our object was created here. With new, maybe that's heap allocated. I'm assuming every sort of class is maybe heap allocated here. Let's see, with our greeter, say hi. Greeter, say BYT, because I spelled things wrong. All right, great, we can see that. So it looks like the object-oriented programming stuff's pretty simple. Obviously, it seems like we can do more powerful stuff here. We saw with like the include to basically do like a multiple inheritance stuff. Let's read a little bit about here. Instance variables are hidden away in the object. They're not terribly hidden. You can see them whenever you inspect the object. Okay, so there's a good object-oriented approach here. I'm guessing there are like, maybe there's public and private protections if you're developing like a module or something. Yeah, this is kind of neat. I mean, it's got these, in other languages, sometimes like, again, C++, D or whatever, Java, I imagine, is similar, right? Where you have this sort of compile time reflection where you could see like, yeah, what are all the instance members or my method variables here? Let's do that here. So if I call the class and we got some built-ins here, that's kind of cool here. So I can see that, you know, say hi, say BYT, hello. Okay, so that's like the actual constructor or something, I guess, for that. And then I guess I've got all these like built in. So if I just do like display or something, let's see, greeter display. Do I have that built in? Okay, nil, I guess. I don't know. Greeter methods. What is that here? Okay, I guess that's giving me everything as well here. Interesting. So there's a lot of stuff here. If we want just the methods, for greeter, we can tell us not to include ancestors. Oh, okay, great. Great, that was going to be one of my things here. Figure out. Yep, okay, cool. That's pretty smooth. I like that here. That's nice control. So I'm assuming there's been a lot of, thought put into some of these introspective capabilities here with this actual language, which is nice here. Again, because it's a scripting language, you should be able to kind of introspect and see everything that's going on. But that's kind of neat here. So let's see which methods our greeter object responds to. Oh, interesting. Responds to name. Okay, so these are things that it can actually do. Again, these are just on the introspective capabilities here. Let's try one out. Greeter respond to. Now this is interesting. I wonder if by convention you put a question mark or something on things that return true or false. So like name, no, false. And say hi. That's when I spelled right. Okay, yep. And then say BYT. All right. Okay, and it's got a 2s for converting something to a string. Okay, so every object has that. Let's actually do that. What does it return us here? To string. Okay, it just gives us this object address as a string. So I might need to override that or something. Okay, so if we want to alter the class, let's see, how do we do that here? Be able to view or change the name. Okay, attribute, accessor name. What is this? But what if we want to be able to view or change the name? Ruby provides an easy way of providing access to an object's variables. Okay. In Ruby, you can reopen a class and modify it. The changes will be present in any new objects you create and even available in existing objects of that class. So let's create a new object and play with its name property. Okay. So let's create Andy here. Reader.new Andy. Now let's put in Mats, because that's who we learned the creator of the language was. All right, just to review some of these things here. Okay, so greeter dot respond to name. Okay, Now I'm getting false here. What did I do here? Respond to name. Oh, we got that property there. What have I done here? Oh, I've got to add this accessor or something here. Colon name. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I'm able to just access this class here. I mean, this is in the interactive thing, so I guess we maybe wouldn't do that normally. We would just go and add this to the class here. Okay, now let's go ahead and create mats again, I guess. Did I put a new address? Yeah, might have redefined it or something. And maybe the garbage collector reclaims it at that point. And then if we respond to the name, now we get true here. Okay, interesting. Okay, so let's create a new object. We've got this new property here. And we could do things like name equals. Okay, so I guess this respond to thing is telling us, like, can I call that function or something? Right, and it finds this as like a valid thing here. It's kind of neat here. Okay, we can change the name and so on. Let's do that. Greeter.name equals Betty. And then greeter, say hi. Okay, neat. Okay, using the attribute accessor to find two new methods for us, name and to get the name, and name equal to set it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Any attribute, I mean, this looks like it's giving us like the getters and setters for free effectively. So that's kind of neat here. Okay, oh, we got the mega greeter. So greeter isn't all that interesting. Deal with one person at a time. What if we have some kind of mega greeter that can greet the world, one person, or a whole list of people? Okay. Yeah, let's write this one in a file here. Yeah, let's quit. Quit. Because I'm definitely going to make a mistake here. Let's split our window here and open up test.rb, I guess would be for Ruby. Let's see. This is a script here. User / bin / environment Ruby. Okay, class. Perfect. Mega greeter. We got this attribute accessor with names. And create the object. Now I wonder if this initialize is by convention. It looks like it is. Kind of like in Python, what is it? You redefine self or something as a constructor. Other languages just in D use this. In C++ and other languages you just whatever the class name is initialize the object. So that's sort of the constructor here. That seems reasonable. Names equals names and then end. And this is plural here. Names. Okay. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Okay. So let's at least just define this one here. Okay, so let's define that. And okay, maybe my syntax highlighting isn't working properly here. What's going on here? That probably means I made a mistake somewhere. Maybe it just doesn't like my class not having an end or something. Okay. Well, we'll have to figure that out here. Let's continue onwards here. Yeah, I'm just going to do the say hi to everyone just for the sake of time because I want to look at the rest of the language. If at names nil, okay, so if it's not found, puts, I'm just going to put out the message here, at names.nil. If I made a mistake here, that's no problem. We'll just see how the error messages are. Else if ELSF, okay, at names.respond to each, okay. I guess each, maybe that's a built-in like part of the iterators or something, so I can look at this range of stuff. Okay. Let's see. At names is a list of some kind. Iterate. Okay, here we go. Let's get into some loops here. At names.each. I like that. Some programming languages have an each in their standard library. Others have it built in. So for each thing here, do. And then I guess refer to it by name. Puts hello name here. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and we need to end this. Oh, nope, not quite yet. Else here puts hello at names here. Okay, so that's going to give us at least world if we have just one thing. I think that's what it's saying here. Okay, fair enough. End. Okay. So we end our function here, end our class. Okay, that looks pretty reasonable. Oh, and then we got to start our script off. Let me see if I just broke anything here. How do I run this? Ruby, maybe test Ruby or something like that. Warning, else without rescue is useless. Okay, I did make a syntax error. Syntax error, unexpected, end of input, keyword end. Okay, probably with my class. But I guess saving it gave me back my stuff. Okay, so let's write the rest of the script and see if we made any other silly mistakes here. That's got a similar thing to Python, I guess, for defining a main here. Equals 0. Okay, and then we have our mega greeter. Mega greeter.new. Mega greeter, say hi. Okay, and then we'll add our names here. I'm not going to say bye here. We just see if that works. Change name to be Zeke. Okay. Mega greeter names equal Zeke. So I guess it's just one here. And then, okay, that's doing a nice job here. Let's just say hi. And then let's copy it. No semicolons or anything in this language. Spacing doesn't seem to matter. I'll mess around with it a little bit. But aha, here we are. So we're creating an array of names here. Interesting. I mean, so this is an array or maybe a dynamic array. So maybe we'll have to see if we can append things to it. Let's go ahead. Albert and Brenda. Okay, let's see if that works here. And let's go ahead and say hi from our mega greeter. Okay. Okay, so I still have some mistake here. Warning. I'll get out of the way here, see if you can follow along and find it. Warning, else without rescue is useless. Okay, let's see what we did here with our else. Else puts. Probably something with my loop or something. Else puts. Oh, I need an end here for my loop here. That's it. End. Okay. Let's see. Does that work? Syntax error. Okay, at line 39. Okay, so I have my if, and I probably need an end here. Yep. Okay, perfect. So now you can see all the code. Let's run it. I'm going to come back in here and see what happens. So I'll run Ruby test here. And error. Okay, undefined method, attribute accessor from mega greeter class. Let's see. Oh, it's giving me a little helper here. So probably just spelled something terribly wrong. Yep, 3 C's here. Accessor. Oops. Okay, let's see what we did here. ATTR accessor, 2 S's. Okay, and that is some built-in thing here. Okay, hello world, hello Zeke, hello Brenda. Okay, let's put a little empty string or something between these from what we learned here. Let's put puts a new line here, maybe something like that. All right. So we can break it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so hello world, the first time with our mega greeter. We don't have any objects, so we took in the default argument. Hello Zeke, we just have one thing, and then this worked with our two, well, our array here. Okay, now we got to learn a little bit more about arrays in the language. Maybe we'll take a look at that. But yeah, this is nice here. I like this in the programming language. This is something kind of nice here. Dot each do, and I guess these are the things that in our names object, I'm assuming if this is an array, then we're just sort of like peeling one value out. If this was maybe a hash map or something that had a key and a value, maybe we could iterate through it and get the key and then, you know, comma value or something. That's how I imagine this is working, but, you know, we'll find out more here. Let's take a deeper look here. And we are at like 20 minutes. So yeah, true to their words here. Okay, so we're sort of digging in a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of like... let's see, our names, instance variable. Okay, so we don't greet anybody, so we just have our nil condition. Okay, yeah, this is nice. And this is the iteration here. Okay, very clear. different than other languages here. So, okay, let's take a look at this iterator in more depth. Each is a method that accepts a block of code, then runs that block of code for every element in the list, and the bit between do and end. Okay, so that's this part here. Is such a block. A block is like an anonymous function or lambda. The variable between pipe character is the parameter for that block. Okay, yeah, so these are the parameters. Okay. And I imagine, again, that we're just grabbing one of them for this particular object. That's pretty clean. That's interesting to think of it like a lambda. Again, in D, you have these exactly like this, and they're templated maybe on some predicate, and then you can pass in a code block. C++, similar sort of ideas. Okay, so what happens here is that for every entry, a name is bound to the list in the element, and we put out the name here. Okay, that's similar. Most languages look like this. I mean, this is what I'm used to in C-like languages, C, C++, Java, C#, D, etc. Most basic programming languages have something like this. But yeah, they're arguing it doesn't look as elegant. You have this throwaway variable. That's true. Yeah. I mean, and you're intentional here about what you're iterating against, and you could probably have a break condition if you want to break. Okay, and they're arguing it's more elegant here. Okay, interesting. Internally, each method will essentially call yield on each of these. Oh, interesting. Are there coroutines or something? In Ruby, we'll have to take a look at that. Okay, so let's see what else. The real power of blocks is when dealing with things that are more complicated than lists. Beyond handling a simple housekeeping details with the methods, you can also handle setup, teardown, and errors, all hidden away without the cares of the user. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so I mean, if we're doing stuff like join or interesting stuff like that, these function calls, right? And I see this in like Python and so on. That's quite nice here. I wonder. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see the history with Ruby and Python being kind of developed. We'll have to look at Python's history maybe later, but I think they're like kind of like 90s into the 2000s where they evolved, and be interesting to see how they inspired themselves here. Okay, say by method doesn't use each. Instead, it checks to see if names responds to the join method. If so, uses it. Okay. So the difference, and I skipped this one, is again they just use, it's just gonna say goodbye and then all the lists and join each entry. Basically, it's doing a string concatenation, but if you had other data, it could sort of build up that structure. Okay, and it's not caring about the actual type of the variable, just relying on what methods it supports. Which is known as duck typing. Okay, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. That's kind of cool here. Again, that's a common thing for this sort of feature of duck typing is, and exactly, I mean, this is the saying to sort of remember it, which might be a little bit weird if you haven't heard this before. But yeah, basically, if it has all the functionality to do something, right, I'm assuming when we print out like that instant methods, then just treat it as that sort of object here. Okay. And then this is with kicking off the script here, right? We need effectively a main function. Yep, so we got one of these magic variables. Again, very similar in Python, what is like underscore main or something. So same thing. All right, yeah, I'll consider myself introduced here. Let's see here. There's more to explore, different control structures, the use of blocks and yield, modules and mix-ins. Okay, so lots of stuff here. I mean, this is nice here. Let's just put the whole snippet here. I mean, getting a taste of Ruby here. Let's keep, pushing forward a little bit here. We still got a little bit of time here. And I don't know. Let's go ahead and see here. Let's kind of hop around here and try to see some of the more advanced features. Do Ruby properly. Let's see here. And I'm just diving in here again because we try to keep these an hour. Okay, putting out some string stuff. Maybe we'll just have to jump into the language guide here. I like these examples though. These are kind of nice here. They look like fun here. Pretty printing. Not a school class, a working class. Okay, so they're introducing classes. Yeah, they've got a nice job here. They've got stuff on the accessors. Nice interactive tutorial. Again, I think languages need this sort of stuff here where you can just hop in online. That's a good thing if you're building a programming language to sort of promote it. This is kind of cool. The playground's got like a bunch of stuff, just the programmer's guide here. and I can just play around here. Okay, and some different compilers here. Yeah, I like this here. Let's run that 3 times. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Some different articles for web development. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it'd be really this might be the thing to properly look at here. Web development. Ruby on Rails is a set of popular toolkit for building websites. Yeah, that's what I remember from learning about Ruby back in the day. Everybody was building Rails applications. So yeah, this might be enough for me to want to do a little bit more Ruby stuff for my website or something. So I'll have to take a look at that. Okay, let's get into the documentation here and just try to look at some of the more advanced features here. All right, we got a Ruby Essentials book here. That's cool. And oh, learn Ruby the hard way. I remember these tutorials from folks here. Let's see, so we can get a copy of this book here or something. Yeah, they've got some nice guides that they're endorsing here. Get away, ads. Okay, I just want to kind of scroll through here again, try to give Ruby some justice looking at these things here. I mean, let's see how we play around with arrays, for instance. I mean, we've got different operations here, all sorts of ads here. We got to get rid of those. Pushing and popping elements. Okay, so they just got push and pop. I like that. That's clean. Comparison operators. Oh, do they have the spaceship operator here? Okay, that's cool. They have a ton of ads here. Modifying. Okay, yeah, just change the array, multiple elements, deleting. Just delete at position or delete. I mean, this is super clear here. Working with arrays here. Dot sort, dot reverse. Okay, let's play a little bit here. IRB, some data. What did we learn here? Like 1, 6, 9, -1, 4. I don't know, just hitting a bunch of numbers here. There we are. Data.sort, easy enough. Data.reverse. Let's see, and that's actually mutating it. Puts data. Oh, that is not mutating. We gotta assign it, I guess, here. New data equals data.sort.reverse. Can we do that? Okay, and then put out new data. That's nice. You know, being able to chain these things together here is really nice. And what was the thing we learned? 3 times puts new data. Can I do something like that? Okay, let me 3 times. What is it? We saw a little example here. Let's see, documentation, try Ruby in our browser. Oh, it ran away here. Run. Let's see, let's go to here. Editor. Let's see here. Oh, I can just do 40.2 string reverse. I mean, so the point of what I'm getting at here, I can take like the max. I mean, there's all sorts of functions here. That's nice stuff, like built-ins here. Let's see. I'll refresh this page here. Or open in a new tab. I've had 3 dot times puts hi. Let's see. Hi value, wrong number of arguments. 1 given, 0 expected. I'm like Ruby, major Ruby novice here. Let me actually cheat here and just bring in. Aha! I found this Ruby loop thing. Just forgot the curly braces. Okay, let's go back to what we're doing here. I know you folks are probably like screaming in the scene here in the computer, but there it is. I mean, that's nice. I mean, this is really nice here, just to be able to write little blocks of code like this here. Yeah, that's nice here. Okay, so let's keep looking through the docs here. Okay, so I got the advanced stuff here, some different Ruby operations, math functions, object-oriented programming. I want to do something with well, let's just see what else they have. Strings, yeah. Lots of string operations here, working with files, data. And then other resources here. Accessing data in datetime class. Let's see how they do file creation, if it's just similar to Python, other languages. Yep, file.new. Effectively, they have some object or something for that. Okay, so that seems pretty reasonable here. Let's look at some of their other documentation. I want to get into the programming in Ruby here. Programmer's Guide. Yeah, again, these languages that have been around for a while have really nice documentation here. I'm actually curious to read more about Ruby in the web here, because it seems like it's really easy to just kick off a web page or something and I guess use the CGI model or module or excuse me, gem for getting things up and running here. Okay, cool. Ruby and TK for I mean, let's just try this here. Is this all I need to get a graphics application up and running? So let's see. Let's quit this here. I'm just gonna call this TK Ruby, and let's just paste this in and run Ruby TK. Now let's see here. Cannot load such file TK, and it is complaining about the require. So do I have the gem thing? Gem install TK. Let's see if that does it. Oh no, I need to probably actually run this code here, but let's see if that doesn't. I don't have permission. Okay, maybe it's sudo issue here. We should install at least one Ruby gem here. Okay. Let's see. I am the super user. I should have permissions. There we go. Okay, now it's building this here. Now, did it fail? Okay. Maybe I need to install the tickle and tk lib here. Okay, but we could still try again. Okay, so that seems to be the issue here. Let's see if we have one that we can install here easily enough here. Now, I mean, this is always the issue with just sort of understanding what's going on. It looks like we needed the C library here, or for the TK stuff. Sudo apt-get install. Let's see, apt search. Let's see, TK. Now I don't know if it's gonna be like libtk or something. Okay, now we've got a bunch of these. I could try 8.5. It looked like it wanted 4.0. And usually I want like the dev versions too of any of these libraries here. But we could try this. Let's go ahead and see if that works. Sudo apt install. Okay, yeah, I'll install that. Let's see if that gives us the appropriate libraries. I might have given us something too new. Yeah, it's still complaining. Cannot load such file here. Okay, require. Let's go ahead and do a quick search. Okay, in my quick search, at this place says, okay, just install the lib tickle. That's TCL and TK, or I believe that's how it's pronounced. Okay, that makes it easy. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see something graphical here. And just see how the experience is of opening up some libraries. We haven't gotten that far in some of the other first impression series, which I've done here. Because again, well, I mean, that just kind of speaks to Ruby's doing a nice job. Now, still cannot load this file here. So I don't know here. Let's see here. Let's see what I actually did. Require TK, create a new object here. And what else here? I should read the rest of that guide. And let's see here, because I think it's installed. I need to maybe add another script here or something. Let's see here. Let's get rid of that window. There we are. That should make it executable Ruby script here. Let's see here. Ruby TK. No, it doesn't look like... Now, the other thing that I could have done is name this improperly. So let's move TK, I don't know, TK2 or something. Sometimes if you name stuff the same as the library that you're bringing in, that can cause problems. Yeah, it looks like I'm having a cannot load file TK here. So probably still missing sudo apt-get install. Let's try to get this working here. Now I thought I would already have that here. libtk. Okay. 8.4. Let's see if that does the trick here. So I bet we could figure this out here. We still got a few minutes here before I call it quits. And let's give that a try here. And it's still complaining. Maybe now we can gem install TK and it'll do the proper thing here. Oops, and I'm probably going to need to sudo again here, but let's see what it does here. Yeah, I need permissions. Oops. Sudo. Let's give that another try. If it doesn't work, that's okay too. But I think that'd be kind of cool or a good testament to it just working here. Now I've picked kind of a trickier thing to set up here. Now let's see here. Failed to compile. I recommend that you use Tickle 8.5 or 8.4. Oh yeah, can't find the proper libraries or something here. Yeah, so it's not going to work here. But we should read these error messages. This is actually quite useful. We've got a ton of different things that we can do here. Let's see what we found here. Error installing TK. Failed to build native extension. Okay, so it's got this stuff. Let's see what it failed on. Okay, we've got X11. Search for Tickle library. That seemed to have failed here. So maybe I just installed TK, but not Tickle here. Let's see. Is there an equivalent here? Oh, it says it's already installed. Let's see here. libtickle 8.4. Okay, maybe 8.5 is what it needs here. TK. Oh, I don't know. Well, we'll have to figure this out here. Now my research on my other window is saying I need to install active tickle. Let's see if that's a thing here. Apt search active tickle. Maybe that's the thing breaking it down. I think I'm missing like the dev library or something. Just installing the actual thing isn't going to work here. Let's see. Oh no, there's tons and tons of these. Well, I don't want us to get lost. Let's focus back on Ruby here. I found all these libraries and got excited and wandered, but I could probably figure that out. Someone can let me know in the comments for how they got things installed. I feel like I have everything that's needed, but again, probably just missing a library, or maybe need to restart my terminal. Let's see, extending Ruby here with the C programming language here. A few interesting things here. Okay, writing Ruby in C. Okay, you can write Ruby programs almost directly in C. That is, you can use the same method, same logic, but with slightly different syntax. Okay. Okay, interesting. So if I want to write this code here, I've got a Ruby header that I can set up here. Okay, and then I just need to kind of set up my object here. Yeah, I mean, you're calling these different functions. You're defining a new class, whatever you want to call it. It's a Ruby object, and then adding each of these special functions here and how you're going to treat them as, right? The methods here, right? You're defining them here. So that's pretty clean here. I mean, it looks like it makes it really easy to make Ruby scriptable, or to build libraries that can be called in Ruby here, right? So you could do this in C or C++, I imagine, create some nice high performance code that you could run in Ruby here. So that's an important thing here. I mean, Python's kind of similar in this for how it enables lots of libraries to be used here. Let's see. I feel like we got to look at Ruby in the web a little bit more here. Or maybe Ruby on Rails. let's go to this website here. I feel like this would be the big thing that, if I didn't at least look at it for a little bit, folks would be displeased. But let's see. So it scales from Hello World to IPO. Okay, cool. That's ambitious. Yeah. Um, and okay, so this is you're in good company. Okay, again, lots of big companies here using Ruby. Cool. Ruby's is a full stack framework. Yep. Note a lot of boot camps, for instance, will teach folks Ruby for building applications, and that's true. Yeah, if you can use this, I mean, same with Python, right? You can use it as a full stack tool. So, anyways, optimize for happiness. I like that. And they got some guides here. Okay, so getting started. That's probably where we should start here. I'm not going to go through this all here, but I at least wanted to highlight. I mean, it looks like we set up Ruby, we install a database, set up the gem here, and then they got a little tutorial here for setting up a blog here and the different pieces here. I mean, I like this as a standard framework. Let me scroll down and see if they have like a full code snippet or something, and we'll leave on that here. I mean, that's pretty powerful though. If you're able to build an entire blog here, yeah, you can see where they're outputting the HTML and setting stuff up. Yeah, I mean, this seems like a killer application, which every programming language needs, right? A little niche sometimes, or sometimes that's one way to grow popular. Now there's sort of, again, languages that are general purpose. Again, Ruby, it looks like you can do pretty much anything. But anyways, let me go ahead and kind of wrap this up because we've eclipsed the hour mark here. But, some final thoughts on Ruby. I mean, it looks like a really clean language. I'd be curious to learn a little bit more. Obviously, in these first impressions, we can't do a deep dive, but if you'd like to see more of a deep dive, or maybe if we built a Rails app or something, that would be kind of cool. I mean, I'd essentially just follow that tutorial, or maybe you can point me to something that's interesting. But I like the cleanliness of a language. It's very dynamic. I like how easy it seems to interface with C. It looks like there's tons and tons of gems. Again, we didn't really get to see any. And I'm sure if I configure my system properly, it'll be really easy to install them. This is the first time we saw sort of like research stuff, the success stories. There seems to be just tons and tons and tons of them. So they've sort of hit their niche market. It's an active community. You can see all the different conferences and meetups, not just, one, but multiple, again, which seems to be a healthy thing whenever you're trying to learn a programming language and find a job. And I can see why folks use Ruby as a language to be taught in boot camps. It's showcasing some interesting things about the language itself. And again, if you could build a web app or a blog or something like that, relatively easy, that seems like a reasonable thing. So anyways, with that, folks, thank you for your time and attention. Ruby enthusiasts, thank you for your patience watching me, fumble through the tutorial, but I think it's pretty clear. It's a nice language. And again, I can see why there was sort of this Ruby and Python choice that folks often had to make. I mean, it is sort of a two scripting languages filling a nice or different niches very nicely, I will say here. But, I could see myself, I would probably be happy writing Ruby code. So I can see why folks like this programming language. And I'm surprised to see it's been around 28 years in development. So that, again, speaks to its maturity, evolution, and success. So anyways, with that said, always enjoy looking at these. Let me know if you folks know some other cool Ruby stuff or resources for myself or others in the comments below. And thanks for sharing your time with me if you made it this far in the video. As always, folks, we'll look forward to seeing you in the next time.